Hey everyone, have you ever wondered how YouTube manages to stream billions of video every day without buffering or crashing? So in this video, we'll design YouTube step by step from upload to playback and see how such a massive system actually works behind the scenes. So now let's see the functional requirements from viewer's perspective. So video should start streaming with minimal buffering and playback quality should adjust automatically to internet speed. कि अगर हमारा इंटरनेट स्पीड फ्लक्चुएट हो तो प्लेबैक क्वालिटी ऑटोमेटिकली एडजस्ट हो जाए विद द इंटरनेट स्पीड. Seamless viewing across mobile web and smart devices. And if we see from the creator's perspective, so the video upload process should be simple and quick, and system should support resumable uploads for large file size. कि ऐसा ना हो कि अगर 50, 70, 90% अपलोड हो जाए उसके बाद अगर फेल होता है सो क्रिएटर अगेन स्टार्ट से वो अपलोड स्टार्ट करे and notify the creator and the subscribed users when the processing and publishing are complete. Now let's see the non-functional requirements that system should handle over 100 millions of daily active users and system can expect skewed traffic with reads dominating writes. If we see the ratio read versus write, so we have assumed around 100:1. So जो हमारा सिस्टम है वो रीड डोमिनेटिंग है and data must be stored for at least 5 or 10 years and ensure low playback latency and fast response times. And the system should be scalable to support the future growth and highly available with fault tolerance and disaster recovery. So now let's see the capacity estimation. So we have assumed that we have around 100 millions of active users and we have read versus write ratio is 100:1. So अगर एक यूजर एक वीडियो भी राइट कर रहा है so total write operation जो है will be around 100 million writes per day and जो read operation है will be around 10 billion reads per day. So here we have calculated the read query per second which is around 115k and write query per second is around 1.1k. So here we have the total query per second which the system should support. So now let's see the storage estimation. So let's assume कि जो average video size है it's around 500 MB and 100 million video uploaded per day. So if we see the daily growth it would be around 50 petabytes per day. And if we are retaining this video for 10 years, it would be around 183 exabytes. So now let's see on a very high level how system works, how a client uploads video into the system and viewers fetches and stream the uploaded video. So a user initiates a video upload request to upload service which is responsible for generating a pre-signed URL of object storage, let's say S3. So this service returns the pre-signed URL to the client and stores the metadata of the video into the metadata service metadata DB or cache. Now client will use the pre-signed URL to upload the direct raw video into the object storage S3 or Azure Blob storage में. So here we'll store the original raw format data, the uploaded video by the client or user, and जब upload हो जाएगा video in the S3 completely, we'll create an event to trigger the video processing service for further processing the raw video. So video processing service is responsible for transcoding, thumbnail generation, moderation, and this video processing service is also responsible for updating the video processing status कि transcoding हो गया, thumbnail generate हो गया. So this service will update the status into the metadata service. and after processing completion will store the processed or transcoded video again into the object storage S3 में हमने ये ट्रांसकोडेड वीडियो स्टोर कर लिया है। वीडियो ट्रांसकोडिंग का मतलब होता है कि वीडियो को कन्वर्टिंग इनटू डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स, कि जो भी बिट रेट जो भी यूज़र ने अपलोड करी है उसको मल्टीपल फॉर्मेट्स बिट रेट्स में कन्वर्ट करना उस वीडियो को। एंड आफ्टर दैट this video will be fetched by the CDN from the storage, so that जब user initiate करेगा to stream that video, so once the user generates a view request, so this playback service will fetch the metadata from this metadata service and stream the video directly from the CDN if that video is present in CDN, and if not, then this service will fetch the video directly from the S3. So the role of the video processing service, it will fetch the raw video, then in parallelly it will extract the metadata, generates the thumbnail and content moderation. Content moderation means कि before going that video publicly we should have a check कि न्यूडिटी ना हो या जो भी पॉलिसी है, कॉपीराइट्स ना हो वीडियो की। सो वी कैन हैव सम बेसिक चेक्स बिफोर पब्लिशिंग दैट वीडियो। एंड नेक्स्ट प्रोसेस इज ट्रांसकोडिंग, विच मीन्स कि जो भी रॉ वीडियो है उसको मल्टीपल फॉर्मेट्स में कन्वर्ट करना, कि 360p, 720, 1080। So we have converted this raw video into the multiple formats, and based on users internet speed we can directly switch to the optimal resolution format. And next is segmentation process, कि हमारे पास जो वीडियो है उसको हमने ट्रांसकोड कर लिया है। We have different formats of video, 144p, 360, 720, 1080, right? नाउ हम इस वीडियो को चंक में डिवाइड कर देंगे 2 to 8 सेकेंड्स के। सो ऐसे ऐसे हमने चंक्स में डिवाइड कर दिया इनको। सो यूज़र जब भी प्ले करेगा तो हम एक ऑफसेट एक चंक प्ले करेंगे, एंड इसके बाद हम इसके नेक्स्ट वाला चंक को लोड कर देंगे। सो इंस्टेड ऑफ लोडिंग फुल वीडियो विल लोड चंक वाइज द वीडियो, एंड इफ द यूज़र इंटरनेट स्पीड ड्रॉप्स या चेंज होता है, सो बेस्ड ऑन द इंटरनेट स्पीड हम जो है फॉर्मेट भी चेंज कर देंगे, कि अगर स्पीड कम हो गया है सो इंस्टेड ऑफ लोडिंग 1080p का जो चंक है विल लोड 360p का चंक या 144। सो हाउ द सिस्टम विल फाइंड कि अगर मुझे ये वाला ऑफसेट 720 का लोड करना है या 1080 का लोड करना है या 144p का लोड करना है। सो दिस इज डन बाय द मैनिफेस्ट फाइल। So after segmentation, the next step is the manifest file generation. So basically manifest file tells the player what chunk or qualities are available and where to get them. So this is done by the manifest file. So after manifest generation, we store the output, we store the transcoded video as well as the manifest file. तो जब भी यूज़र रिक्वेस्ट करता है सो वी लोड दिस मैनिफेस्ट फाइल, एंड बेस्ड ऑन द इंटरनेट स्पीड हम ऑफसेट्स डायरेक्टली लोड करते जाते हैं यूज़र को वन बाय वन इन अ सीक्वेंस बेस्ड ऑन द इंटरनेट स्पीड। सो वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड अबाउट द मैनिफेस्ट फाइल। सो व्हेन अ वीडियो इज प्रोसेस्ड एंड चंक्ड इनटू स्मॉलर सेगमेंट्स like 2 to 10 seconds each, and we can have multiple resolutions, so then the player needs a map कि कौन सा वर्जन का वीडियो एग्जिस्ट करता है, 144p, 720, 1080 एग्जिस्ट करता है या नहीं करता है, एंड अगर करता है तो हर एक सेगमेंट कहाँ कहाँ स्टोर है उस फॉर्मेट का, राइट? एंड हाउ टू प्ले दैम इन सीक्वेंस, कि अगर अभी ऑफसेट नंबर x चल रहा है तो उसका नेक्स्ट सेगमेंट कहाँ पर है। सो टू मैप दिस काइंड ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन, this is the role of this manifest file. So a manifest file is a text file which lists all the available video qualities and URLs of chunks of each quality. So we have two types of manifest file, HLS and dash. HLS stands for the HTTP live streaming. So this HLS is developed by Apple. So it is used by Apple as well as the YouTube mobile. जो YouTube Android है वो भी HLS ही यूज करता है. And this is text based file. Next is MPD dash file. So this dash stands for dynamic adaptive streaming over HTTP. जो डैश होता है वो XML बेस्ड होता है, XML बेस्ड फाइल होता है. एंड दिस इज यूज्ड बाय द यूट्यूब वेब. ये जो है यूट्यूब वेब एज वेल एज नेटफ्लिक्स यूज करता है इसको स्ट्रीम करने के लिए. सो आफ्टर ट्रांसकोडिंग जो वीडियो प्रोसेसिंग सर्विस है वही जनरेट करता है मैनिफेस्ट फाइल एंड सिस्टम स्टोर्स इट इन द सेम प्लेस where the transcoded video is stored. And when a user initiates a request to play a video, so the video player service will download this manifest file which will help कि segment wise based on resolution कौन कौन सी video formats exist करती है और कहाँ exist करती है. So we can think of the manifest file like as a menu card that helps the video player looks at it to decide which dish or quality of chunk to request based on the user internet network speed. So based on user internet speed, system will automatically change the resolution of the video. इसी को हम बोलते हैं adaptive streaming. That it allows YouTube to switch the video quality automatically based on the internet speed. जिससे यूजर का एक्सपीरियंस अच्छा हो जाता है, स्मूथ व्यूइंग विदाउट बफरिंग. एंड बाय क्रिएटिंग द चंक the efficiency of the system increases. The player downloads only small chunks at a time, not the entire file. And this increases the flexibility of the system as well, that we can jump ahead in a video. The player just fetches the next chunks from the manifest file directly. So I hope कि on a very high level ये पिक्चर क्लियर हुआ होगा कि कैसे सिस्टम वर्क कर रहा है. एंड नाउ लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड ये जो फ्लो है कि यूजर ने जो रिक्वेस्ट इनिशिएट किया टू अपलोड द वीडियो. सो अगर हम डायरेक्ट अपलोड की बात करें बाय द बैकएंड सर्विस विदाउट जनरेटिंग द प्री साइंड यूआरएल, क्लाइंट जो है जो भी वीडियो अपलोड करना होगा वो बैकएंड को रिक्वेस्ट करेगा एंड देन बैकएंड विल अपलोड इनटू द स्टोरेज, अपडेट द मेटा डाटा एंड रिस्पॉन्ड बैक की क्लाइंट को कि हमने सक्सेसफुली ये वीडियो अपलोड कर दिया है. बट इससे प्रॉब्लम यही होगा कि जो वीडियो क्लाइंट अपलोड कर रहा है वी हैव टू पास दैट वीडियो फाइल ओवर द इंटरनेट टू द बैकएंड सर्विस विच मेक्स आवर सिस्टम स्लोअर एंड कॉस्टली. कि पहले जो वीडियो है वो बैकएंड सर्विस को जाएगा, देन बैकएंड सर्विस प्रोसेस करके वापस से स्टोरेज में डालेगा, तो डबल कॉस्ट हो जाएगा. एंड बैकएंड सर्विस पे प्रोसेसिंग बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगा जिसकी वजह से इट कैन बिकम द बॉटलनेक ऑफ द सर्विस. सो द अनदर वे इज कि कभी भी अगर हमें कोई लार्ज फाइल को प्रोसेस करवाना हो, सो इंस्टेड जो क्लाइंट है जो यूज़र है वो डायरेक्टली वो फाइल बैकएंड सर्विस को ना दे करके दे कैन अपलोड टू अ क्लाउड स्टोरेज एंड आफ्टर दैट जो सर्विस है वो इस अपलोडेड फाइल के ऊपर ऑपरेशन या प्रोसेसिंग कर सकता है इजिली. दिस इज मच फास्टर एंड चीपर एंड स्केलेबल वे टू डू दिस. सो हियर client will generate a backend request for the video upload and this backend service will give a pre-signed URL to client. By using that, client can directly upload the video to the storage. So ये जो है काफ़ी scalable way है to do this. Backend will only handle the metadata की title tag या status update, not the big file data या उसको process करा जाए. So the backend service will give client a temporary upload pass. By using that, the client will directly upload that video to the storage bucket. So by doing so, servers stay light and uploads scale easily for millions of users. So now let's see the flow in the YouTube system when a client upload the video. So the client video uploader will raise a request to upload a video. Backend service will generate a pre-signed URL and using this pre-signed URL, this client will directly upload the raw video to the storage and sends the metadata like title, description, tags, status to this backend service which will update the metadata into the DB or cache. We have API gateway and load balancer, which is the entry point for all the client's request and routes and upload the request to the upload service. So the role of the API gateway is to authenticate and authorize the request call and route it to the correct service. And load balancer का काम है कि load को distribute करना across the instances of the service. So next we have the video upload service, which is responsible for generating the pre-signed URL for the client to upload video directly to the storage and storing the video metadata into the metadata service. And next we have original video storage, जहाँ पे client ने directly जो raw video है उसको store किया है. And on video completion, it will generate a trigger, a S3 event, to start the video processing. And now the role of the video processing service is to handle the post-upload operations like transforming the raw uploaded file into optimized streamable assets, video segments, thumbnail generate करना, manifest file generate करना, and makes the video ready for playback via CDN. So it will first pick the raw video from the storage, extract the metadata, and then it will start the parallel processing after the metadata extraction. So like parallelly we can start transcoding, thumbnail generation, content moderation process, and after this it will start the segmentation process, manifest file generation, and after this service is responsible for storing the processed output, जो भी transcoded video segments है, thumbnails है, manifest file है, into the storage like S3 or CDN, and it will update to the metadata service as well on every status कि processing start हो गया है, transcoding हो गया, manifest file बन गई. So this video processing service is also responsible for uploading the status of the video processing. Next we have transcoded video storage, which stores the optimized video formats for streaming. And next we have metadata service, which stores the state or metadata information of the video in DB and cache. Now let's understand the flow of video viewing कि जब एक viewer request करता है to play a video. So when a viewer client raises a request to play a video, it also routed via API gateway and load balancer to the playback service. So now the role of the video playback service is to check into the metadata service कि video availability, playback URL क्या है CDN में, thumbnail, resolution options, जो भी tag, titles, description है उस video के उसको load करना. And then this playback service fetches the manifest file from the transcoded video storage, where we have this manifest file as well as the transcoded video जो भी हमने process किया था. So we have already discussed this. We have two types of manifest file. One is HLS, HTTP live streaming, which is developed by the Apple, and other we have dash file जो कि XML based है और HLS जो है text based है. This dash stands for dynamic adaptive streaming over HTTP, and this dash based we are using in web based YouTube, or Netflix also uses this XML based manifest file for the streaming. So this manifest file contains the mapping of available formats, resolutions, and the URLs for the segments. So this both type of manifest files basically tells the player how and where to fetch the video chunks. So now the video player uses this manifest file and decides based on the internet speed कि कौन सा resolution play करना है, and this we called adaptive bitrate streaming. So now this video chunks fetched from the CDN, if CDN cache में वो exist करता है, then it's served immediately. If not, then CDN pulls the chunk from the transcoded video storage and cache it and delivers it to the viewer. So once the client initiate the upload request, which is routed via API gateway and load balancer to upload service, this upload service will return the pre-signed URL to the client, and client can use this pre-signed URL. Basically it's a pass to client कि आप जो है इस storage पे directly you can upload the video. So here we are storing the raw format video directly uploaded by the client, and this upload service will store the metadata into the metadata DB and cache, and on video upload completion will generate a event which triggers the video processing service to do the post upload operations. So here we can have queue based mechanism which makes our system more scalable and flexible कि अगर failure आता है तो retry वगैरह करने में easy हो जाएगा. So we can have basic inspection and validation, then extract the metadata and video processing. So here we can have multiple transcoding workers जो कि parallelly वीडियो को different formats में convert करेंगे. And in parallelly we can have audio processing, thumbnail generation, transcript generation, different types of processing we can do. And after transcoding completion will do the video segmentation कि वीडियो को हमने chunks में convert कर लिया है, and then will generate the manifest file and will store the transcoded video as well as the manifest file into the storage. So we have this transcoded video storage where we are storing the optimized video format as well as the manifest files. And this video processing service will also update the status to this metadata service at each video processing level. And from transcoded video storage, CDN will fetch the video for streaming it to user directly. So now when the viewer raise a request to play a video, it also routed via API gateway or load balancer to playback service. Playback service will get the metadata from this metadata service about the video कि क्या duration है, क्या video है, titles, tag, description. So the playback service will get this metadata from the service or from the cache or Elasticsearch, and then this playback service will load the manifest file, and based on user's input or internet speed, it loads the required video chunk from the CDN or transcoded video storage. So ये जो processing है ना, this is modeled as a DAG. DAG basically directed acyclic graph. So ये जो भी processing steps है, we can create a directed acyclic graph कि पहले ये step होगा, फिर ये step होगा, and after that ये step होगा. And this all is handled by a orchestrator कि किसके बाद कौन सा स्टेप करना है, और अगर एक प्रोसेसिंग में कुछ फेल आ रहा है तो उसको वापस से रीट्राई करना है. सो डायरेक्टेड एसाइक्लिक ग्राफ इज अ सीक्वेंस ऑफ डिपेंडेंट टास्क managed by a orchestrator like Airflow or Temporal. So here we have each task is an independent unit of work, like कि metadata extract करना, thumbnail generate करना, transcode करना 720p में या other formats में, then segments create करना, manifest file generate करना, moderate करना content को. So here we can perform some tasks in parallel as well as some in sequential dependencies कि पहले ये task होगा फिर ही वो होगा. That chunking will start after the each resolutions transcoding complete कि एक फॉर्मेट का पूरा वीडियो का ट्रांसकोडिंग कंप्लीट हो गया है. आफ्टर दैट विल क्रिएट द चंक ऑफ द वीडियो, एंड आफ्टर चंक विल जनरेट द मैनिफेस्ट फाइल, सो दैट मैनिफेस्ट फाइल होल्ड्स कि इस फॉर्मेट का ये वाला चंक का यूआरएल कहाँ पे लाइक करता है, सो दैट वीडियो प्लेयर कैन लोड द डिजायर्ड चंक. एंड देन विल स्टोर द प्रोसेस्ड वीडियो segments, thumbnails, manifest file and log back to the storage. And then we can have a consistency and recovery. That orchestrator tracks the task states, handle the retries on failure, and ensures no step is skipped. So if we see that why orchestrators are needed, so अगर हमारे पास orchestrator ना हो like Airflow, then we need to write the code to all the logic for retrying the failed task, handling the dependencies कि जब तक ये वाला टास्क ना हो जाए लाइक ट्रांसकोडिंग, उसके बाद ही जो है वो सेगमेंटेशन वाला टास्क स्टार्ट होगा. स्केलिंग वर्कर्स, लॉगिंग एंड मॉनिटरिंग ईच स्टेप. सो द रोल ऑफ द ऑर्केस्ट्रेटर इज टू हैंडल these scenarios. So now let's understand that what kind of database and storage system we should use for a video platform. So the primary database जो वीडियो metadata हम स्टोर करने वाले हैं, we can use a NoSQL database like Cassandra or DynamoDB. एंड द रीज़न इज कि हमें जो है बहुत लार्ज स्केल पे डाटा स्टोर करना है. So SQL type of DB can struggle, while Cassandra can horizontally scale across the nodes, and we can partition the data on video ID, which ensures the even distribution and fast lookups. अगर हम जो यूज़र आईडी अपलोडर आईडी है उस पे अगर हम पार्टीशन करें, दैट कैन क्रिएट अ हॉटस्पॉट. So in the metadata we are storing these information, and we can have the cache for fast access for the hot videos. So by using cache we can reduce the DB hits for full text search. So we can use the Elasticsearch, which provides the indexing and ranking कि जो भी यूजर ने इनपुट दिया है, based on that we can also have the rank based output, कितना टैग डिस्क्रिप्शन मैच हो रहा है. So when we update the metadata in the database, so we'll create an event which will update in the Elasticsearch. So here the only challenge is that कि जो हमारा DB का डाटा होगा और Elasticsearch में होगा, we need to make consistent, otherwise यूजर को stale या outdated डाटा आउटपुट में आ सकता है. And next we have video and audio related data storage. So we can use the cloud storage like S3 or Azure Blob Storage. So these storages are meant to handle very large file efficiently and integrates with CDN for delivery very easily. So we can store the raw uploaded file, transcoded video formats into the chunks जो भी हमने create करा है, manifest files, thumbnails, captions, audio tracks in the S3. So now let's understand that how we can upload large files. So video can be very large, multiple GBs में हो सकता है, and uploading them reliably is a difficult because कि upload may fail halfway due to the network issues या restart करना पड़े from the scratch, waste of time on bandwidth कि 70% और आफ्टर 90% ड्यू टू नेटवर्क इशू अगर फेल हो जाए, वापस से क्लाइंट को जीरो से वापस से अपलोड करना पड़ जाए. सो सर्वर्स मीट टाइम आउट और अ सिंगल मैसिव रिक्वेस्ट अगर लार्ज फाइल आ जाती है. सो वी नीड अ सॉल्यूशन दैट इज स्केलेबल एंड रिलायबल एंड रिज्यूमेबल. So a very basic and naive approach for uploading large video file is that client will split that file into chunks. Let's say 10-15 MB का वो split create कर लेता है, and then each chunk is uploaded to S3 via pre-signed URL. And upload होने के बाद client tells the backend service कि ये जो chunk है ये upload हो गया है, and backend service will mark that chunk as uploaded. And after all the chunks upload होने के बाद backend service will assemble all the chunks of that large file. So if we see the pros, it's very easy to implement and client controls the upload and progress, works fine for the small and medium projects. But the problem with this approach is that backend trusts the client blindly कि क्लाइंट ने कहा कि ये जो वीडियो है, ये जो चंक है, ये अपलोड हो चुका है. सो बैकएंड सर्विस एग्रीज कि हाँ ये अपलोड हो गया है विदाउट वेरीफाइंग इट. मैलिशियस क्लाइंट कुड फेक कि ऑल चंक्स आर अपलोडेड विदाउट एक्चुअली अपलोडिंग. सो इनकंसिस्टेंट स्टेट आ जाएगा हमारे सिस्टम में. एंड इफ द क्लाइंट लूजेस द स्टेट कि कौन सा चंक अभी अपलोड हो रहा है या फेल हो गया या रिट्राई करने में इशू है, so it hard to resume the reliably. So here the approach was कि client will generate a request to backend service to initiate the upload, and this backend service will generate the pre-signed URL, and now client will use this pre-signed URL to upload all the chunks into the storage. And chunk upload होने के बाद this client will update the backend service about the chunk status कि ये chunk upload हो गया है. Now backend service is not verifying, it directly trusts to client कि हाँ ये जो वीडियो है ये अपलोड हो गया है. So due to this our system can be in inconsistent state because backend service is not verifying कि वो वीडियो वो चंक जो है सच में अपलोड हुआ है स्टोरेज में या नहीं. एंड आफ्टर सारे चंक्स अपलोड होने के बाद दिस बैकएंड सर्विस विल मार्क अपलोड कंप्लीट and will assemble all the chunks of that large file. And next we can have server verified uploads. We can use fingerprinting and backend validation before marking the chunk upload status. So in this approach, client will split the file into chunks and then client will compute the fingerprint using SHA-256 for the entire file. We have the file ID and each chunk we have the chunk ID. So we have generated the fingerprint for the entire file and for each chunk. And then client uploads that chunk to the S3 using the pre-signed URLs, and after upload client notifies the backend कि इस फाइल आईडी में ये चंक आईडी अपलोड हो गया है. Now the backend service will validates with the S3 using head or list part API. So using this API, backend will validate with the S3 before marking the chunk as uploaded. So the backend service will update the metadata table with the verified chunk status. And once all the chunks are confirmed, backend marks file as complete. So now if we see the pros, that it's secure, backend doesn't trust client blindly, जो कि पहले इशू था हमारे पहले अप्रोच में. And it also supports resumable upload. Backend can verify and tell the client कि कौन सा चंक एग्जिस्ट करता है और कौन सा फेल हो गया है, so that client can retry that chunk again. And fingerprints avoids the duplicate कि मल्टीपल चंक्स अपलोड ना हो जाए, वीडियो की फाइल में कोई चेंज ना आ जाए, बीच में से कोई डिलीट हो गया ऐसा कुछ. So we can verify using this fingerprint technique. And if we see the cons, slightly थोड़ा complex है, more we have backend work here. So here client calculates the file plus chunk fingerprints and calls the backend service to check the status कि कौन कौन से chunk upload हुए हैं. So backend service returns the existing upload chunks status कि ये upload हो गए, and client can resume or upload the missing chunks via pre-signed URL again. And then the backend service verify कि वो वीडियो जो है अपलोड हुआ या नहीं हुआ यूजिंग द लिस्ट पार्ट API ऑफ S3. और अगर अपलोड हो जाता है सक्सेसफुली, then this backend service will mark that chunk complete upload. And next we have cloud multipart upload, which is preferred at scale. So here the backend requests to S3 to start a multipart upload and it gets the upload ID. Now the client uploads each chunk using this upload ID, and storage system जो S3 है itself tracks the uploaded parts internally. Client या backend जो है call कर सकता है S3 को using this list part API, and we have this upload ID for tracking to see which chunks are uploaded, and client can resume only the missing part. And in the final step, client will call the complete multi-part upload API, then the storage will merge all the chunks into the final file. So if we see the pros of this technique, cloud handles chunk tracking and backend is lightweight. Backend पे कोई भी load नहीं रहता है. Extremely scalable and reliable way, and it also provides automatic integrity checks and resume upload supported natively. And if we see the cons, backend has less fine grained control. Storage ही जो है state भी manage कर रहा है यहाँ पे. And if we want extra features कि कुछ scan या deduplication check लगाना है, so we need a extra layer. So here client initiate the upload request to the service, and then this service initiate the multi-part upload to S3, and in response to this request initiate multi-part upload will get the upload ID. And now this backend service will return this upload ID or pre-signed URL to client so that client can initiate the multi-part loading to S3 directly. So after this uploads parts directly to S3, and this storage S3 in return will give the ETag responses after processing.
Client notifies backend with part numbers and ETags, which backend uses to finalize multi-part upload.
एंड आफ्टर सारे चंक अपलोड होने के बाद सर्विस कैन इनिशिएट द कंप्लीट मल्टी पार्ट अपलोड which will assemble all the chunks into a video, and then this service marks this upload complete status to client. So now let's see the example flow. So let's say we are uploading a 100 MB file and we are segmenting this 100 MB file into 10 MB chunks. So now we first call the create multipart upload API, and S3 will return a upload ID which the client can directly use to upload the video into the S3. So we can create the upload of all the chunks. So let's say 1 to 5 successfully हमने upload कर दिया and S3 stores them internally. But let's say due to network issue 6 to 10 जो है वो upload नहीं हुआ. So if there is any interruption in the upload, so we can check this by using the list part API, and S3 will return the part number जो successfully upload हो गए हैं with the e tags. And जो भी chunk upload नहीं हुए हैं successfully, we can re-upload that chunk as well again. And once all the chunks got uploaded successfully, we can call the complete multi-part upload API. S3 will merge all the 10 parts of the chunk into a single file. So now let's see the next problem, that uploading file might be incomplete or corrupted. कि कोई चंक जो है मिस हो जाए या पार्शियल अपलोड हो जाए या कोई टेम्परिंग हो जाए फाइल में. सो हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू वैलिडेट कि जो क्लाइंट ने अपलोड करा है वही एग्जैक्ट जो है अपलोड हुआ है एंड व्यूअर्स देख रहे हैं. So we can use SHA 256 fingerprint verification कि client will compute the hash for the full file before the upload and backend recomputes the hash after upload completion and compares. And in this way we can detect even a single bit corruption. Or we can have chunk level validation using the S3 e tags. हर एक चंक अपलोड जो होगा will return a e tag. So during the complete multi-part upload जो बैकएंड और S3 जो होता है itself ensures कि every e tag matches. हर एक चंक का जो है एक e tag बनेगा जब भी हम अपलोड करेंगे. e tag is basically a checksum hash like identifier. और जब हम complete multi-part upload करेंगे to assemble all the chunks, so S3 will ensures कि हर एक e tag match करे. So S3 also provides this built-in integrity validation at chunk level. So now let's see the next problem, that user can upload the file like video, images, documents that might contain virus, malware, policy violation हो, copyright content हो, unsafe format or scripts. So directly serving the unverified files to the other users or CDNs could compromise the system or reputation. So first solution is that जब हम कोई भी चीज अपलोड करते हैं, so instead of directly serving to the users, we can quarantine that data or file. So we can have private or quarantine bucket which is not publicly accessible, and this bucket should have no CDN exposure. And then we can trigger the background scan. हम asynchronous processing बना सकते हैं event driven based, which will perform the antivirus scan, content moderation or policy or copyright detection. And then we can take the decision and file promotion. If the file is clean, then we'll move or copy to the production bucket which is publicly accessible और CDN पे वो डाटा जा सकता है. And if it is infected or non-compliant, then we can delete or quarantine permanently. And we can mark the status as rejected, as well as we can notify the user with the status. So now let's see the next problem, that how we are going to design a system which support millions of concurrent video viewers at the global scale. So we can have very high number of concurrent users watching the video simultaneously, and viewers are globally distributed, जिसकी वजह से latency and bandwidth can become the bottleneck. And if we see the metadata, likes, comment, titles, ये काफी read heavy होने वाला है. And the popular videos can create the read hotspots,
While likes, views introduce massive write loads on popular videos.
So how we are going to design a system which can support high read scalability, low latency streaming, efficient write aggregation, global availability. So first, video delivery optimization. We'll use the CDN, content delivery network. So the problem is if the every viewer request video chunks directly from the storage like S3, so it will create high latency for distant users. So what we can do, we can store the transcoded or final video chunks in the S3 or blob storage as the origin, and we can distribute this globally via CDN. So CDN edge servers cache this video chunks near users, and this cache is also refreshed automatically. So using CDN, latency can drop to less than 100 milliseconds for most of the users and offloads 90% plus traffics from the origin server, and it can scale effortlessly with a global demand. And next we have adaptive bitrate streaming, कि जो है हम वीडियो को मल्टीपल फॉर्मेट रेजोल्यूशन में स्टोर कर रहे हैं चंक फॉर्म में, एंड प्लेयर विल लोड द वीडियो बेस्ड ऑन यूजर का इंटरनेट स्पीड. सो इफ वी सी द बेनिफिट्स, स्मूथ एंड बफर फ्री प्लेबैक हो जाएगा, ऑप्टिमाइज द यूजर एक्सपीरियंस अक्रॉस द डिवाइसेस एंड कनेक्शंस, एंड एफिशिएंट सीडीएन यूटिलाइजेशन, डिफरेंट क्वालिटीज कैश्ड सेपरेटली. एंड नेक्स्ट मेटाडेटा स्टोरेज एंड कैशिंग स्ट्रेटजी, कि जो वीडियो का मेटाडेटा है, टाइटल, टैग्स, कमेंट्स, is queried billions of times daily, creating hotspots on the popular videos. So we'll store the metadata in NoSQL database like Cassandra or DynamoDB for horizontal scalability, and cache hot video metadata in Redis, and we'll use the Elasticsearch for search queries and recommendations. So using this, we can prevent the hotspots and enhance the read query. नेक्स्ट वी कैन हैव एसिंक्रोनस अपडेट्स फॉर मैट्रिक्स, कि कितने व्यूज हुए हैं उस वीडियो पे, लाइक्स या वॉच टाइम क्या हुआ है. सो इफ वी सी द प्रॉब्लम दैट एवरी व्यू और लाइक इवेंट इज अ राइट. सो एक वायरल वीडियो पे वी कैन हैव बिलियंस ऑफ राइट्स पर डे विच विल चोक द डाटाबेस. सो व्हाट वी कैन डू, द क्लाइंट सेंड्स द व्यू इवेंट और लाइक, विल पुश द काफका और पबसम मॉडल, and we'll have a matrix aggregator service which consumes these messages and performs a batch write, कि हर एक 10 सेकेंड और 15 सेकेंड के विंडो में कितने लाइक्स आए हैं, कितने व्यूज आए हैं उस वीडियो पे, हम बैच राइट करेंगे. एंड यूज शेयर्ड काउंटर्स टू हैंडल द concurrent increments. So by doing so, we can have high write throughput and no database contention or locking, and accurate metrics with a slight delay, but we'll have the eventual consistency. Eventual consistency का मतलब है कि there is a slight delay, क्योंकि हम कह रहे हैं कि हम 10 सेकेंड और 15 सेकेंड के बैच में राइड करेंगे, तो इट्स नॉट एग्जैक्ट कंसिस्टेंट बट इट्स इवेंचुअल कंसिस्टेंस, कि कंसिस्टेंट तो हो जाएगा ये सिस्टम. एंड देन जियो रेप्लिकेशन एंड मल्टी रीजन आर्किटेक्चर. सो द प्रॉब्लम वॉज कि वी हैव द ग्लोबल यूजर्स, कि समवन इन इंडिया एज स्ट्रीमिंग फ्रॉम यूएस डाटा सेंटर, that can lead experience 300 millisecond plus latency. So what we can do, we can replicate the storage and metadata DB across the multiple regions, and CDN ensures the edge delivery for the video content, and we can use the eventual consistency for non-critical data, views, watch time और likes. अभी हमने ये समझा है इसका. and the critical metadata like titles, ownership, ये जो है हम strongly consistent रखेंगे across the data center. So we can minimize the latency globally, and system is fault tolerant and reduces the inter-region bandwidth and load. So next problem we have, that how we are going to handle a sudden traffic spike, कि suddenly 100x increase आ जाए traffic में, which can break the system. So how we are going to handle the load gracefully? So we can have auto scale servers and message queues, and we can pre-warm this CDN for trending videos. Normally क्या होता है कि CDN जो होता है caches of video only when the first few users request for that video, but for early viewers may experience a delay, क्योंकि CDN पे वो वीडियो था नहीं, तो हमें Origins S3 जो ट्रांसकोडेड स्टोरेज है हमारा, वहाँ से फेच करना पड़ेगा, तो वहाँ पे लेटेंसी ज़्यादा हो सकती है. बट बेस्ड ऑन वीडियो पब्लिशर, हमें अगर लगता है कि वो ट्रेंडिंग वीडियो है, सो वी कैन प्री वॉर्म दिस CDN. सो CDN विल कॉपीज दैट वीडियो चंक्स इन एडवांस, कि जैसे ही यूज़र उस वीडियो के लिए रिक्वेस्ट करेगा वो CDN में मिल जाएगा. सो दैट वीडियो विल इंस्टेंटली सर्व फ्रॉम दैट CDN. वी कैन अप्लाई द रेट लिमिटिंग फॉर द बॉट्स, या डिफर नॉन अर्जेंट राइट्स जो है वो बैकग्राउंड जॉब्स के थ्रू हम कर देंगे शेड्यूल फॉर्म में. and we need to store the video details and user interactions very efficiently in database and cache. कि we can have different tables for metadata as well as for the user reaction like comments, कैसे start करना है, indexing करनी है, कैसे कैसे करना है. So we can optimize that. So why Cassandra or DynamoDB instead of SQL? So the problem with the SQL database that it slow down when millions of users read or write at once. SQL जो होता है वो बहुत ही अच्छा वर्क करता है for transactions like banking, but not for massive parallel read writes. So Cassandra और DynamoDB जो है it's easy to scale horizontally. We can add more servers, handle billions of records easily, have fast reads and writes even with high traffic, and support eventual consistency, which is fine in our system like for storing the likes and views. So now let's see the next problem. Let's say we have 1 billion users and each time someone clicks the likes on a video, you need to update that total like count in the database. So अगर हम हर एक like के लिए उस like को अगर हम अपने DB में अपडेट करने लग जाए, so our database will die. For every like अगर हम write करने लगे तो we'll get the log first for that row, and thousands of user liking this same video at the same time, तो बहुत ज़्यादा write conflict होने वाला है. So this makes our system slow and expensive. So we can use the aggregation or cached counters. So in cached counters, we'll store the temporary counts in Redis instead of hitting the main database every time for each like. So जब भी कोई user एक वीडियो को like करेगा, so we'll increment that like of that video in the memory, and then periodically एक background job will write that total back to the main DB. कि उस वीडियो पे जो भी Redis में काउंट स्टोर है will directly update to that DB. So Redis is super fast, no locking is required. We can avoid the constant writes to main DB and user see likes count instantly. But there will be a slight delay of few seconds, but that is fine for likes and views. And next we can have the aggregation or batch update. कि instead of writing every event, we can collect, aggregate them and write them once. So जो भी like या view count होगा will go that event into the Kafka or queue, और जो aggregation service होगा will consume these messages or count periodically कि let's say 10 seconds में, and aggregates the count and updates into the DB. So here also we'll have a slight delay in the exact number of likes or views of the video. So now let's see the next problem, that how we are going to handle the consistency versus latency trade-off. So in a globally distributed system like YouTube, Instagram, users are spread across different regions of the world, right? So when one user performs an action, let's say कि like करा या view करा किसी एक region में, so we need to make sure कि जो users other regions में हैं eventually see the same updated data. कि इंडिया से अगर कोई लाइक कर रहा है तो यूएस में बैठे बंदे को भी वो लाइक दिखना चाहिए, इंक्रीमेंट काउंट या टोटल व्यू कितने हैं उस वीडियो पे. सो हाउएवर देयर इज अ ट्रेड ऑफ कि इफ वी वेट अंटिल ऑल रीजन्स एग्री बिफोर शोइंग द अपडेट्स, इट्स कंसिस्टेंट बट स्लो. कि इंडिया के रीजन में अगर कुछ अपडेट आया, लाइक करा या वीडियो वॉच टाइम बढ़ा है, तो इंडिया के रीजन में तो वो अपडेट बढ़ गया. बट इफ वी आर कॉपिंग दैट डाटा to other regions as well and we are waiting कि सारे सिस्टम कंसिस्टेंट रहे, कि सारे में वो अपडेट चला जाए, then we'll have the high latency. हमारा सिस्टम तो कंसिस्टेंट होगा बट लेटेंसी बढ़ जाएगी. बट अगर इफ वी शो दी अपडेट्स इंस्टेंटली, कि ये जो लाइक करा वीडियो अगर हम इंस्टेंटली दिखा रहे हैं तो इंडिया यूजर को तो इंस्टेंट दिख जाएगा कि एक लाइक बढ़ गया है या व्यूज बढ़ गए हैं, बट अदर रीजन्स को नहीं दिखेगा वो चीज, तो स्लाइटली इनकंसिस्टेंट स्टेट में होगा. कुछ यूजर को एग्जैक्ट अपडेटेड डाटा दिखेगा, किसी को नहीं दिखेगा क्योंकि अभी तक डाटा रेप्लिकेट नहीं हुआ है दूसरे डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड सिस्टम में. सो इट्स फास्ट बट स्लाइटली इनकंसिस्टेंट फॉर सम टाइम. हेंस वी मस्ट बैलेंस बिटवीन द कंसिस्टेंसी कि सारे के सारे सिस्टम जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड सिस्टम है वो कंसिस्टेंट रहे, and between latency, depending on the type of the data we take the decision. So we handle this trade-off by using the different consistency levels for different types of data. So we choose the strong consistency for important and sensitive data, where we think कि डाटा का जो करेक्टनेस है वो बहुत क्रिटिकल है, इवन इफ इट्स लिटिल स्लोअर, लाइक कि पेमेंट, सब्सक्रिप्शन कंफर्मेशन है, वीडियो की ओनरशिप, एक्सेस राइट्स, यूजर ऑथेंटिकेशन और प्राइवेसी सेटिंग, या टाइटल चेंज होना वीडियो का. So for these kinds of operations, if there is any change, then data is returned to primary region. The system waits until it replicates to all other regions and confirms the update. Only then it's shown as successful. तो ये जो है always accurate होगा, हर एक यूजर को सेम डाटा दिखेगा. So the distributed system is in consistent state. But as we are saying कि primary region में write होने के बाद it will wait to get replicated into the other regions as well. So इसकी latency बढ़ जाएगी slightly. And system can be eventual consistency for non-critical high volume data, कि ऐसे data which can tolerate small delays in synchronization, कि like हो गया, views हो गया, comments हो गया. So if user action कि like और view अगर हुआ है किसी वीडियो पे, is stored in their local region immediately and it's shown to them instantly via cache, and in the background system जो होता है sync करता है this change across all the regions. Other users see the updated value after few seconds जब वो डाटा replicate हो जाता है. So this is extremely fast and scalable, but temporary जो होता है difference होता है डाटा में between the regions, इसलिए हम इसको eventual consistency बोलते हैं कि system will be in consistent state eventually. So now let's see the next problem, that how we'll ensure the smooth video playback even when the user's network speed changes. So before this also we understood adaptive bitrate streaming, कि when a video is uploaded, basically we processed into multiple different quality formats, जिसको हमने transcoding बोला है, right? And then after transcoding we split that video into small segments and we generate a manifest file which lists all these segments. So during the playback, client reads the manifest file and downloads the right segments, and switching quality up or down based on the current network conditions. So this manifest file holds the different video formats, segments, basically index pointing to all these chunks. So when a client raises a playback request, the client first fetches the video metadata from the database or cache, which includes a link to the manifest file, which is stored in the S3 transcoded video storage में. After transcoding हमने उसको S3 में store कर लिया था. So the client will load that file from this S3. So client downloads that file and see what qualities, resolutions are available. Based on the network speed user preference, the playback picks one quality and starts downloading the first segment. And as the video plays, client keeps downloading more segments ahead of the time to avoid the buffering and then adapting to network changes. So that's why it called adaptive bitrate streaming. So this client automatically switches to lower resolution अगर network speed slow होता है to avoid the buffering. And if later the connection improves, the client can switch back to the higher quality chunks. Now let's understand that how CDN cache the videos. So जो CDN content delivery network होता है is not a permanent storage. It's a temporary cache layer between the users and origin storage, S3 or Azure Blob या Google Cloud Storage. So S3 is the where we are storing the full video files permanently, and CDN keeps the copies of most recently or frequently viewed chunks near users. So when the video is processed or transcoded, it's split into small chunks and we have multiple resolutions plus a manifest file we generate that list all the available chunks of different formats. So for every resolution, system produces a full set of chunks, but these chunks are kept in the original storage S3 में, not all permanently cached on CDN. So when the CDN actually gets the video, So there are two ways. First is the lazy caching, कि जो वीडियो होता है और जो सारे चंक्स हैं वो S3 में ही रहता है आफ्टर ट्रांसकोडिंग. CDN doesn't store anything yet. When the first viewer watches the video, the player requests the chunk कि ये वीडियो मुझे देखना है. Then CDN checks if it is already has that chunk. And अगर नहीं होता है then it fetches from the transcoded video storage S3 से and serves it to the user and stores it temporarily. So the next users nearer to that region get it directly from the CDN cache. But the problem is कि first viewers may face slightly slower load. And the other way is pre-warmed proactive caching. So for the expected viral or new release content के लिए the video is published, then the backend system pushes or pre-warms chunks to the multiple CDN edges. So this way when the user clicks the play, the chunks are already there, instant start and no cache miss. But इससे cost बढ़ जाता है हमारा. And next, that how we are going to direct the users to the nearest region. So the problem that how we are going to reduce the latency globally. So we can route the users to the closest data center to reduce the latency. So we can use the GeoDNS or latency based routing, AWS Route 53. So that let's say कि अगर इंडिया का यूजर है, so we can direct it to Asia region, or for US users we can direct that user to US region. So AWS Route 53 Amazon DNS service जो होता है, it supports the GeoDNS, choose by country or region, and latency based routing भी करता है, route user to the region with lowest latency, and it also skips the unhealthy regions automatically. So if someone from India makes a request, Route 53 gives them AP South 1 IP, and if the Mumbai cluster fails, then DNS reroutes to Singapore automatically, जो भी nearby lowest latency provide करेगा. So we can have the low latency and better load distribution, resilient and simple for clients. And next, that how we are going to manage the storage costs, कि जो old और unused videos है, that is also going to cost us. So what we can do, we can have hot and cold content, and we can move the cold content जो old videos है to the cheaper storage like Glacier, and we can delete the duplicates using the file hashes, or we can keep only the top resolutions for popular content. So by doing so we can minimize the costs.